Have you ever heard a story that makes you stop and think, how could this even happen? Well, this one is not a scandal about money or power. This one is about life and death, and it happened quietly right here in South Africa. Over 140 people, psychiatric patients, died after the government had decided to move them out of proper care facilities. They weren't killed by violence. They were killed by neglect, by hunger and cold. This is the story of Life Esidimeni, and how a tragedy meant to save money became one of the darkest chapters in our country. Let's rewind to 2015. The Gauteng Department of Health, which was led by MEC Qedani Mahlangu at the time, decided to terminate its contract with Life Esidimeni, which was a healthcare provider, a private one, that had been caring for nearly 2,000 psychiatric patients for decades. The reason? The department said it wanted to deinstitutionalize care, to move patients into community-based NGOs and reduce costs. But experts warned them the NGOs weren't ready, many weren't even licensed, and some had no nurses, no psychiatrists, no beds or even food. Still, transfers went ahead, and fast. Between March and June of 2016, over 1,700 patients were moved out of Life Esidimeni facilities and scattered across more than 100 NGOs, some of which were completely unknown to mental health professionals. Families started noticing something was wrong. When they tried to visit their loved ones, they couldn't find them. Some NGOs refused to say where patients had been sent to. Others were impossible to reach. By late 2016, reports started surfacing that patients were starving, they were freezing, and they were dying. People were being kept in overcrowded rooms, sometimes locked up with no medical supervision. At one NGO, Precious Angels, 10 patients died within weeks. By the time the truth came out, at least 144 patients had died from neglect, from dehydration, and from malnutrition. Some of the bodies were found emaciated, wrapped in plastic, or dumped in makeshift graves. It wasn't an accident. It was a slow, bureaucratic disaster where warnings were ignored and human lives became paperwork. The families of the victims refused to stay silent. They formed the Life Esidimeni Family Committee and demanded answers. They fought for years to expose what really happened. In 2018, a major arbitration hearing, which was led by the former Deputy Chief Justice Gauteng Province, found the government guilty of gross human rights violations. He called it a harrowing tale of death and torture, and he ordered the state to pay 1 million rand in compensation to each family. But justice was slow. By 2023, criminal charges were still dragging. No one has yet been convicted, years later. Life Esidimeni showed us how fragile dignity can be, especially for those that society already forgets. It wasn't about budgets or systems. It was about people, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, who depended on the state to keep them safe. This is a reminder that when leaders make decisions without empathy, policies can end up killing. And when accountability fails, tragedy repeats itself. These families are still waiting for real justice, and South Africans are still asking the same question. How did our democracy, born from human rights, let this happen in plain sight? You see, when government decisions cost lives, we have no choice but to stop and ask, wait, what happened?